Hello friends, welcome back. Let's start computer screen lock application from scratch. Okay, we have already installed NetBeans ID. You can use NetBeans ID or any other ID. There is no problem. Let's create project. We have file. Then we have new project. Click on that. And here you want to select Java application. Then click on next. Let's add name, for example, computer screen lock application. Okay, app. That is good. Then we want to finish the project. Here we checked create main class because we want to create a main class. Then finish. Okay, as you can see, the class is created. Today we want to design the lock screen application. Okay, and for that project you want to use Java Swing. Let's import some packages. Simple import javax.swing, and we want to import all the classes and interfaces. Okay, thereafter let's import java.awt.star. From that we want to import all the classes and interfaces. So thereafter let's extend this class from the JFrame class. Simple extends JFrame. Okay, after that we want to create constructor. As you know that the constructor has same name with the class. We want to copy the name, and here you want to define constructor simple public. Okay, so thereafter let's add some properties to the form. First we want to use set undecorated method because we want to remove the default border from the form. Simple. Here we want to pass false value. Thereafter simple this dot set always on top. We want to display the form always on top. Okay, and here we want to add true value. Okay, everything is good, and here we have problem because we want to make the form unbordered. Let's use true value. Okay, so let's display the form on the full screen. Simple. This dot set extended state, and here you want to pass JFrame. We have maximized both. Okay, everything is good. Thereafter let's add color to the form. Simple. This dot set background color, and we have color class. Then we have different colors. We want to use black color. Okay, thereafter let's define a method to make password field as a style because we want to use custom input fields. Okay, simple. We want to define method private, for example, password field. Let's add name, for example, style password field. You can use any name, there is no problem. And here we want to define password field. Simple password field, for example, password field equals new password field. And here we have different overloaded versions. The first one is empty, second one accept string value, the third one accept integer value. Let's use that. And here we want to specify column size, for example 20. So everything is fine. We defined a simple password field. Thereafter, let's add some properties. For example, we want to add password.set font. Set font. We have font class. Let's initialize that new font. And here we want to use that overloaded version. Accept name, style, and size. Let's add name, for example, Arial, and here style, for example, font.bold. Then we have size, for example, 16 pixels. Thereafter, let's add background color. Simple password.set background color. We want to use color class, and here we want to add RGB color, red, green, and blue. For example, you want to add 30, and for the blue, let's add 30. Okay, that's good. Thereafter, let's add foreground color. Simple password.set foreground color. We want to add color dot white. Okay, we want to add white color. So everything is good. Thereafter, let's add border. Simple. Password dot set border. We have set border method, and here we want to pass, for example, border factory, and we have different methods. Let's use create compound border. We have create compound border method. Let's use that, and here we have two overloaded versions. The first one is empty, the second one accepts outside border and inside border. Let's use that. Let's break that to see the full code. Sorry. Okay. So first, let's add the outside border. Simple. We have border factory. We want to use create line border. Here we have different overloaded versions. Let's use that accept color for the border, that accept size and rounded. Let's use that. Here we want to add, for example, color. We want to specify the color. Thereafter, we want to specify, for example, border size 2 pixels. Let's add, for example, true value to make the input rounded. Okay. After that, let's add inside border. Simple. Let's add that. And for that, we want to use border factory. Then we have create empty border. Let's use that overloaded version, that accept top, left, bottom, and right padding. Okay. Let's specify that, for example, 8 pixels. Then we have 12. After that, for the bottom, let's add, for example, 8, and for the right, let's add 12 pixels. Okay. So everything is good. After that, you want to add text alignment to center. Simple. We have password dot set text alignment. Sorry, we have horizontal alignment, and here we want to use jtext field. Then we have different values. Let's use center. Okay. Okay, the method is completed. Finally, as you can see, this method return password field. Let's return that. Simple return. We have password. Okay, friends, that is good. Thereafter, let's create another method to add style to the button, because we want to use custom button. Simple. Here we want to define a method. For example, private. We want to add return type JButton. Okay, sorry, JButton. For example, create button, and here you want to add different parameters. For example, string, text. Then we want to add, for example, color, normal. We want to add another color, for example, over color. Then we want to add, for example, font size, and for example, font size. Okay, that is good. We defined a simple method. After that, let's create a button. Simple JButton. For example, JButton. For example, btn equals new JButton. And here we have different overloaded versions. Let's use that accept string value. We want to pass this variable. As you can see here, we define parameter. We want to get value from that. Thereafter, we want to add some properties. For example, btn.set font. We want to initialize new font, and here we want to add, for example, Arial. Then we want to add font.bold. Thereafter, we want to add size. As you can see here, we have font size parameter. Let's use that. Okay. Sorry, font size parameter. Okay. Thereafter, we want to add, for example, let's add background color. Simple btn.set background color, and we want to use that normal color variable. Okay. After that, let's use, for example, for ground color btn.set for ground color. We want to use color dot white. Okay. So thereafter, let's remove the focus. Simple btn.set focus. We have a focus painted method. To that, we want to pass a false value. Okay. So thereafter, let's add border. Simple btn.set border, and here we want to use border factory. We want to use create empty border. We want to use this overloaded version. For the top, let's add value, for example 12 pixels. For the bottom, for the left, let's add value, for example 25, then 12, and then for the right, let's add 25. That is good. Okay, so you can add different properties, there is no problem. Thereafter, you want to add simple btn.set cursor, and here we want to use we have cursor class. We have different methods. Let's use the predefined cursor, and here we want to pass cursor dot we want to use hand cursor. Okay, so everything is fine. Thereafter, let's register this button with event. Simple. We have btn, and here we want to use add mouse listener. Let's use the fully qualified name. We have new java.awt.event, and here we want to use mouse event. We have mouse adapter. Okay. Thereafter, let's use that. That is good. We want to override some methods here. Simple public, for example, void. We have mouse exited. Exited. Okay. And here we want to pass mouse event. Let's use the fully qualified name. Simple java.awt.event. Then we have an error. java.awt.event. Where is the problem? Let's check that. Okay, we have the problem here. Let's use that, and here we want to use mouse event. For example, event. Okay, event. That is good. We registered the mouse exited. Thereafter, let's copy the same code, and here we want to override mouse entered. Okay. Okay, here we want to change only the background color. Simply we have btn.set background color, and we want to use our color. Thereafter, simple btn.set background color we want to use. We have normal color. Okay, as you can see here, we have two parameters. We have normal and we have over. Okay, here we used over, and here we used the normal color. Okay. Okay, thereafter, what we want to do, we want to drink some tea. Okay, then let's return that button. Simple return, we have button. Okay, the method is completed. Using that method, we can create a custom button. Later, we want to call this method, which is create button method, and we want to call this method, which is styled password field. Okay, everything is good. After that, let's define a new initialize method here. Simple, for example, private void initialize, for example, user interface. You can use any name, there is no problem. So everything is good. After that, let's create buttons. Simple. We want to use the button class, for example, unlock btn. We want to call this method. As you can see here, we defined create button method. Let's copy that. Okay, from here. And here we want to initialize that. To that we want to assign first, for example, text, for example, unlock. Then we want to add normal color. We want to use RGB color, and here we want to specify 0, 120, and for example 250. Thereafter we have our color. Let's copy the same statement, and here we want to add that color also. 0, that is good. After that we want to add, so let's change the color as well. Here we want to use dark color, for example 60. Then we want to use our color, for example 90. Okay, and here we want to change font size. That is good, there is no problem. 18 pixels. Okay, everything is good. Let's break that to see the full code. Okay, let's break that also here, and here we want to break that, then we want to break that also. Okay, sorry. So as you know that for the layout manager, we want to use grade bag layout. Thereafter, let's define grade bag constraints because whenever you want to manage components in grade bag layout, you have to use the grade bag constraints. And here we want to define simple grade bag constraints. For example, grade bag constraints equals new grade bag constraints. Okay. So let's add padding to that. Simple, we have grid bag constraints dot insets equals, we want to initialize the insets class, and here we want to use this overloaded versions. Okay, and here we want to add values. For example, let's add 15 pixels, 15, 15, and to the right also 15. Let's remove that. So thereafter, we want to specify rows and columns. As you know that the grid bag layout manages components in rows and columns. And here we want to specify rows and columns. Simple, we have grid bag constraints, and here we have grid X. For example, 0, this is the first column. Then we have rows, simple, grid bag constraints dot grid Y equals 0. So in the first row, let's add the title to the center panel. Simple, we have center panel, we have add method, and here we want to add, we have title, we have grid bag constraints. Thereafter, we want to change row only. Okay, let's use grid bag constraints dot grid Y. Grid Y. Let's use that, and we want to assign 1 because a second input or second component we want to display in the second row. Okay, and here we want to use the same code. To that we want to add subtitle. We have subtitle. As you can see here, we have title and then we have subtitle. First we added title, then we added subtitle. Okay, so after that, let's copy the same code from here, and here we want to change row to 2 because in the third row, let's display password. We have password field. Let's copy that. Then we want to, let's copy that, and here we want to change that to 3. In the third, let's display unlock button. Okay, let's display that. Then we want to copy the same code. Okay, and here we want to change that to 4, and we want to display change btn. Here we have an error, we have mistake change, let's correct that, change btn. Let's copy that. So after that, let's create a bottom panel. Let's copy the same code from here, and here we want to change only the name. For example, bottom panel. That is good. Let's use this one. Okay, so after that we want to add border, bottom panel dot set border. We have set border method, and here we want to use border factory. We have border factory. Then we want to use, let's use, for example, create empty border. We want to use that overloaded versions. Okay, and here we want to pass, we have top, left, bottom, and right side. Okay, let's pass, for example, 0 to the top, then we have left 0, bottom let's pass 20 pixels, and right also 20 pixels. Okay, so thereafter, let's define a label. We have already defined that here. Let's copy that from here, and here we want to define a new label. For example, powered by, and here we want to use, for example, text powered by Kausar Technologies. That is good. So let's change the text. We want to use gray text, for example, new color, and here we want to use that value. Okay, and here we want to use the same label. Here also, let's change font size. Let's add, for example, 12 pixels, and here we want to use plan. Okay, so we want to add alignment simple. We have powered by we have set horizontal alignment, and here we want to use swing constraints dot. Let's add, for example, right. Okay, we want to display in the right position. So to the bottom panel, let's add this label simple. We have bottom panel dot add, and we want to add powered by, and here we want to use border layout. Let's display in the right side. Okay, so everything is fine. That is good. As you can see here, we defined main panel. To the main panel, we want to add center panel, and we want to add bottom panel. Simple. Okay, we have main panel dot add. We have a center panel, and we want to use border layout dot center. Okay, then we have main panel dot add, and we want to add bottom panel, and we want to add to the right side. Simple. For example, let's use border layout dot. We have, for example, south. Okay, everything is fine. Thereafter, let's add this main panel to the main frame. We have main application. We want to add this to the main application. Simple. This dot add. We want to add main panel. Okay, friends, everything is good. Thereafter, let's display the form. We have a class. Let's copy that. We have main method here. Let's remove that. We want to use swing utilities class. Then we have invoke later method, and here we want to use lambda expression. Okay, let's initialize the class. Then we want to call set visible method. To that we want to pass true value. Okay, let's break that. Okay, that's good. Okay, friends, as you can see here, we use invoke later method because first we want to initialize and build user interface. After building the user interface, we want to display form in correct manner. Okay, let's save the changes. Then we want to run the application. We have main class here. We have run. Okay, friends, that is good. We designed application layout. We have main title. Then we have subtitle. Text boxes. We have unlock button, set or change button, and here we have powered by Kausar Technologies. That is good. Okay, we wrote simple code. Here we have main method, then we have create button method. We have create start password field, and here we have initialize method. That is good. We have initialize method, then we have constructor, and here we called initialized user interface method. Okay, if you have any questions, you can write them in the comment. Please like, subscribe, and share my videos with friends. That is enough for today. Have a good day. See you in the next one.